Good morning, everyone. Today we'll explore a little bit another important aspect of the vegan lifestyle, and that is related to the animal testing. This is a very, very important aspect as well. I mean, like all the others, this is really important because it's it touches on compassion, on animal rights, and somehow we believe that we can use animal for testing purpose, but this is quite an incredible thing that mankind can do such things. It's used for many different places, cosmetics, in fashion, in household products, for chemicals, for medical research, so good research. It sounds so fancy, like it is advancing medicine or anything, but actually it's just the reality of it is very, very different. Millions of wonderful, loving, innocent, sentient beings are being tortured daily, and they are like bred in also captivity. They are confined to sterile environments, and they are subject to very, very painful experiments and ultimately killed. So it's not because of necessity or survival, but it's just for profit, convenience, and something that is really basically a habit of mankind to. I often come back to that concept of humans enjoy dominating instead of coexisting. It's like something maybe, I don't think it's ingrained really in humans. It's more like a habit that we took for a very long time, maybe for thousands of years. I'm quite sure in the very beginning it wasn't like that, but it started with the domestication of animals, so-called domestication, and then it went downhill from there. And now, we test on animals all kind of things, all kind of ways, as if they are products and no feelings and no pain. But they do feel pain and suffering just as we do. And these remain mostly like outside of public view, of course, and their voices is unheard. Their life disposable for the industries, so-called industries, and they are just prioritized because they prioritize the development over compassion. And it is time to expose this reality and request some changes. And there was actually a lovely documentary I saw some times ago on Vimeo, which was about, I believe, like medical doctors or would-be doctors, like students who studied medicine that they so-called had to test on animals, and they felt absolutely terrible afterwards. The guilt that they felt was immense, and they talk about that in that documentary. I don't remember the name of the documentary. I will try to found it out and put it in the notes as well. I put another one for now. It's another wonderful documentary about milk, how it is far less innocent than we believe it is. But yeah, so animal testing is something that shocks me, that we can even do such things to wonderful beings. It's like an horror movie. Imagine those animals would be humans. Um, Maybe that we have been tested by some other beings, maybe like smarter than us and more cunning, more powerful, and we can absolutely not do nothing, and we are just in a small cage, in a way, waiting to be tested upon for all kinds of ways, and that would be the subject of an horror movie, and even worse than an horror movie. It's quite unthinkable. Yet we do exactly the same thing to poor humans. To poor animal people. So, and it's not necessary. It's absolutely not necessary. There are other ways to go about it. Animal testing never helped in any way, not medically, not in any way. It's just our ego, humankind ego. I think what is the ethos of the medical profession that they need is to like swear at the end or in the beginning of the study. I'm not sure they will never hurt any like I don't know if it really says humans in there, but it should probably be replaced by like I shall do my best to hurt no one, no living beings, animal or humans alike. Now that would be a revolutionary, like a vow of the medical profession. That would change many things. And yeah, it affects the people who do it, not only the animals but also the humans who are testing on animals. It affects them psychologically. Maybe in the beginning they are shocked and do not wish to do it, but then maybe they get used to it. Some of them become a habit, but it affects them deeply, like the documentary I was talking about before. And yeah, again, it's not necessary. So maybe it is time to stop it, and just be kinder to all. So yeah, so who are we testing on? So we're testing on a lot of mice and rats. Those are the most commonly used animals. They're about 90% of the laboratory subjects, but they are very cute. No, well, it doesn't matter if they are cute or not, but they are very cute, and Problem is they cannot speak our language. They speak their own language. And that's why we feel we can do anything to them. And they have a brain, they have nervous system, they feel pain, they love their families, they have their families, they protect their families. But they are completely defenseless against us. Yeah, it's just terrible. And then there's beautiful rabbits and guinea pigs, so cute and so sad what we do to them. They're used a lot for skin and eye irritation tests because they are so kind and gentle. Yes, there's even dogs and cats that they are bred specifically for laboratory use. So, and they are denied the love that they deserve. And they are as cute as our dogs and cats. They are not because they are bred for laboratory, then suddenly they are devoid of pain, devoid of feelings, devoid of loveliness, kindness. And then there are also primates and others, like monkeys, fish, birds, and many other species who do feel pain and fear, of course. And they are not tools or like equipment or product. They are fully 100% sentient beings who experience emotions, form bonds, and possess an inherent will to live like us. No difference. The only difference again is that they are defenseless. So because they are defenseless and they cannot talk, then we feel the right to do whatever we wish to them. But each one is an individual, each one has his or her personality and preferences and of course capacity for suffering, for pain, both physical and mental. So they are not ours to use or abuse. Yeah, don't you agree? So they live a life of fear and confinement. That's the reality of it. They live in small barren cages, no comfort, no nothing. I know we have our beds, we have our like sheets, covers to cover us. Our beds are usually quite soft. We feel warm and cozy inside. We can go to sleep relatively easily. We can wake up easily and leave the bed easily and come back. But those innocent animal people are just in barren cages with nothing to enrich their life, no comfort, no nothing. So they are denied all the usual necessities of life, like interaction, maybe first and foremost, like their and also the basic sunlight, fresh air, all the natural environments. And they cannot engage in their species-specific behaviors, whatever that may be. And that hurts them terribly. And they are always under constant stress, isolation, and all the psychological terror. They have to endure deprivation from birth until death. So it's not something that happens, suffering is not something that happens to them occasionally. It is basically their entire existence. All they know since they are born is is fear, loneliness, and pain. That's all they ever knew in life. And this is just because we decide to. It's not because we have to. Because we believe that we have the rights to use those beings for our own in our own advantage, so to speak, for our own advantage. And it is very sad. Yeah, so we have the cosmetic and fashion testing. As much as one can think of like medical, one can think, oh, medical is for healing and finding cures and whatnot. But of course, that's not. I mean, that does not happen. But in cosmetic and fashion, it's just for vanity, basically. And this is just for basic household products, like even shampoos and lipstick and mascara, perfumes, and whatnot, and just for basically glamour and self-expression for ourselves. But this it hides the dark reality of animal suffering. That's why when we buy those products, we should always buy vegan and cruelty-free products that are certified like that. Then we know that there are no animal testing. There are other ways to test products. No need to subject innocent animals to so much suffering. And yeah, there's a high irritation test to see if the eyes are irritated when we drop some chemicals into their eyes. And they are even opened with clips so they cannot blink away. With some burning substances. So this is extreme pain. Leads to blindness and yeah. Then there is also skin corrosion tests. So toxic substances are put on the shaved skin of the animals. Then they develop really painful burns and lesions and infections. As the so-called researchers just document the progression of tissue damage. It's like as if it's a scientific research. It's basically a torture. I would not call such a researcher, but a torturer. Sorry. And yeah, this is just not right. And then they are also like have like little dose tests. So they have to inhale or fed some substances and see until they die. When do they die? And of course, survivors also endure the seizures and all the bleedings, organ failures, and paralysis just before they die. And this is all suffering for products that we don't really need. And tested in ways that doesn't even guarantee any human safety. And in all cases, nothing of that sort of nature is worth the cruelty. We don't even need it, and we don't need to do it at the same time. So yeah, this is just hell for living beings. And then we have a medical testing, which is just a misnomer. It is like a false promise. It's a complete myth. of the medical necessity. I mean, something that maybe many people believe that, oh, okay, they can do all those tests because they want to find a cure, like cure for anything. Um, Maybe humans should find a cure to cruelty. That would be much better. Um, but yeah, it's not even working because when they test on the animal people, and then most of the tests then fail on the human trials. So in a way, what for? Um, and yeah, so each species has their own biology, metabolism, and that differ fundamentally from humans. A rat is not a small human, but for a rat is a people, is a person. Yeah, so the poor predictive value is very important, that most of those drugs do not even pass the human trials, even if they pass the animal trials. So there's a lot of historical failures. But yeah, so there are examples of terrible consequences of things that passed animal testing but cause devastating issues for humans. And yeah, so and there are others that would have been rejected if we solely relied on animal models, and because they are toxic to many so-called test species. So yeah, so cruelty doesn't not guarantee safety, and it's very misleading research. It's wasting time and wasting lives, both humans and animals. It is, yeah, um, I think there's a lot of so-called medical research in this world that uses animal people, and for some reason they believe that it is very important. But cruelty can never be approved. And we should know that. I'm quite sure those people who work there do not feel really good about it. Then after some time it becomes a habit. Maybe the heart turns like dark, like they have a veil around their hearts that grows bigger and bigger as more testing is done. But those veils can be removed by compassion, by realizing that this is not right, by speaking up for the animals and stopping this. And yeah, so yes, so those all those languages of like protocols and procedure. Behind that, there is a really disturbing reality. Um, yeah, it's merely cruelty in the name of science. I'm not sure what kind of science that is. Maybe the science of cruelty and pain. Um, but yeah, um, what would happen if we choose bred humans for so-called science for testing on humans? How would humanity think about that? Would they accept it? I would hope to believe that not. possibly, I mean, not possibly, I think, in some cases in history, this was actually done. Not bred for this, but like some groups of people were used for testing, and that's just a very big scar on humanity, isn't it? But we do the same, and we still do it. That's the thing. We did not stop it there. It's not just because they don't have a human form, they don't talk, we don't understand their talk, and they are defenseless. Doesn't mean that we have the rights to do it. So many issues like the chemical poisonings and the burn that we talked about, and so-called disease induction. So giving them diseases deliberately, causing whatever cancer, diabetes, disorders of all kinds, psychological torture, or surgical procedure, and yeah, and finally they are basically killed. At the conclusion of the experiments, doesn't matter what they endured. So yeah, so they do not even receive any pain relief because they are not considered as living beings. They are considered as products. They are considered as basically moving robots. Yeah, they don't want to use also because they believe anesthesia will maybe interfere with the results. So the poor animals, they endure it for days, weeks, months of agony before death. And that's their only escape. And yeah, and in many jurisdictions, those laboratory animals, they have even fewer so-called legal protection, like pets or even farm animals. They are just no one cares about them, which is quite sad. And yeah, very importantly, there is no consent. They do not give their, in human trials, humans need to give their consent, like they have to sign a consent that they accept maybe the consequences of the tests, of the trials, and that they will not blame the laboratory for any issue that may occur. But usually those trials, of course, are much milder. They will not be like we do to the animal people. But the animal people, they did not volunteer. They were just either bred in captivity or they were captured from the wild, specifically to be used. And they cannot refuse or escape. They are completely powerless, completely at the mercy of those who experiment on them. They can't understand what will happen or what happened or what's happening. They experience terror and confusion because they are restrained, injected, and subjected to painful procedures. And they have, there's no benefit to them, so to speak. So all they suffer is, all they face is suffering and ultimately death. So it's using the vulnerable and the voiceless for our purposes. And that's not scientific progress, that is exploitation of the innocent. So it reflects a really profound moral failing from our part, how we treat those that cannot defend themselves. We love as humans to defend the defenseless, at least in human term. We go to great lengths to defend them in really always Maybe someone in school, there's a bully in school, and then another that bullies maybe a student, and then there's another one who has really great empathy and great inner strength. Then they will help that, not the bully, but the one who is bullied, and they will stand up against the bully, even go to fights with them if necessary. So, and that is a wonderful feelings of empathy, of trying to protect those that cannot protect themselves. Also, with in many other places, we try to do that. Try to help the poor people, the homeless. There are many organizations who help the homeless, those who don't have a lot, those that don't have food. There are organizations who try to provide them food around the world. So as humans, we love to to assist those that cannot assist themselves, those that need our help. But it's a very narrow down help. Most of it is for humans. There are some for animals. That's wonderful, but the vast majority of money, of resources, goes to helping humans and completely neglecting the animals and the defenseless animals, like laboratory animals, so-called laboratory animals. And yeah, and it is up to us, the end users, to choose and to demand that such things do not happen. We can demand from the companies that they do not do that. We can send mails to them, like saying that we will never use their products if they do not make them cruelty-free. We can demand those things, and companies will have to change because otherwise they will go bankrupt. So, so yeah, I believe we should really be very careful when we choose our products and always look for cruelty-free products. That is really supremely important for our own well-being, and more importantly for the animal people well-being. And there are alternatives today in different ways. There is human cell tissue and tissue testing that tests on human cells tests, and this is provide more relevant data than the animal models. There's now advanced computer modeling. AI can help quite a lot, and there are very sophisticated algorithms, and they can simulate the human biological processes and predict the so-called drug interactions, and they model disease progression without harming any living beings. And yeah, and this is really very relevant to humans and not much more relevant than the animal testing. And yeah, there are different ways, also the organs on chips, 3D blueprinting, and even so-called ethical human studies. Like we discussed a bit, the volunteer-based research, which humans give their consent, and of course those will not be really hard tests. Those will be usually tests that do not cause any issue or major issue, and they do not exploit the vulnerable, and it is fully consent of the humans who sign a contract, not a kind of contract, I suppose. And and some companies did do just that they show that they can thrive without animal testings. So and some even have banned the animal testing for cosmetics at the very least. So okay, so change is possible, but we need moral courage to demand it, and not only for cosmetics. All tests should stop, including medical testing as well on animals. I don't know the percentage, but quite a lot of them are probably linked to medical research. So stopping that would make a big improvement to the lives of countless beings, and will make us also feel better. And all those who do the research, they will feel much better, more empowered. Yeah, so this is like a test, a question, like a test of our value. Would we accept these experiments like on human beings without their consent? I would imagine not. And yeah, would we accept it from being done to children who also cannot consent or understand? I mean, that would be like an absolutely atrocious thing, wouldn't it? It's even unthinkable that we even think about that could be possible, but that's what we do to animal people. They are children's. They are so innocent. They do not know. They cannot do anything. They are basically powerless. And yeah, would we accept being done on people with cognitive disabilities? Again, that's like an horror movie. And of course not. We want to help all beings with cognitive disabilities. We need to be very kind and compassionate to them, and to help them live a good life. But again, they are also like innocent, very innocent, like the animals. They are very, they cannot really protect themselves very well. And would we accept to test on them? No, of course not. And would we accept it for the animals to test on our beloved animals? I think there would be infinite lawsuits, and of course we would not accept that. This would be completely unthinkable from our thinking. Yeah, so the thing is, like, suffering and pain does not end with our what we like categories of beings that we believe should not be tested upon, even though they are also very innocent. Because we never would think about such things to do that. Yet it's a very strong test of our values if we really deeply reflect upon it. like our moral and compassion should not end with those that we believe should not be tested upon, even though they are also very innocent. But animal people, they are also very innocent, and they also suffer terribly, like our favorite, not favorite, no, like our pets, beloved pets, like yeah, like children's, like all humans. Doesn't matter um, if they have any disability or not. So we should ask ourselves, can compassion depends on whether a being can speak our language, maybe look like us, maybe or serve some our purpose. So an ethical framework would extend protection to all who can suffer and make no exception. Doesn't matter the convenience or the profitability. For the profitability or for the powerless, those that cannot do anything. Yeah, so it's like an ethical inconsistency in how we apply moral principle based on species rather than capacity to suffer. We draw a line between us and them, and we close our eyes and hearts. And that is a very, very strong ethical question that we should all ask ourselves. Really reflect upon it deeply, and yeah, maybe this could be like the reflection for today, the challenge for today, to reflect on that. Really think about it. Would you accept this for those categories, or of course not? But then why do we do it for another category which is no different? Again, animal people are like childrens, like small childrens. We know that, like when we see dogs, we love dogs. They are so cute, and they are like little childrens. They're very innocent. They're very like loving, very compassionate. Like when they see us, they are very happy, and we are happy to see them. They like wake their tails, and they bark, and they express themselves. They show their love and appreciation for us, for being there for them. And they are animal people as well, no different than those that are being tested upon. It's not because mice and rats are smaller that they are not also that they do not have feelings, they do not have families and wishes to do their own stuff. They don't need to wag their tails at us or anything. They're wild animals. They do what they wish. They do not owe us anything. But yeah, this is a very, very, very important question that very few of us ask ourselves. So let's ask ourselves those questions. So this is a call to compassion. As we said in the past, it is it's how we treat the most vulnerable. That's the society's advancement, how we can measure the society advancement. It's not just technological sophistication and economic prosperity. That's just one aspect of advancement of civilization. But I would say it's not the most important one. The most important is how we treat the most vulnerable, And the most vulnerable, of course, not only humans, but all living beings. And a civilized society does not do that, does not inflict suffering, needless suffering, on those who cannot defend themselves. Like I said, we love to, to hear about stories of strong protecting the weak. Like we have all our superheroes, the Marvel Avengers. What do? They protect those that cannot protect themselves, basically. They protect the Earth and the universe and their civilization, and we feel very empowered looking at it, seeing it. That those so-called superheroes, they try to help those that cannot do that because they have received some superpower. But the most incredible superpower is not sending lasers from the eyes or being able to fly. The most important superpower is a compassionate heart, a kind heart. That's the only superpower that we can possess, and that each and every one of us can have. Um, and yeah, and this begins by recognizing that there is a big issue with how civilization advances, or our civilization is currently, and how we want it to be. If we participate in those stuff, I'm not saying on indirect way, also indirect way, most importantly. Direct way are those that actually do those tests, the so-called researchers. But indirect is us, the consumers who buy the products that are made because, that products that are like based, I don't know if we say based, but that have been made in conjunction to the suffering of living beings. So yeah, nothing justifies cruelty, and so we can choose empathy over indifference. We can recognize the suffering of the animals, and we can recognize that it is valid and worthy of our moral consideration. We can practice kindness over cruelty, like conscious consumer choices, as we said, and we reject the products that are tested on animals. And if we all do that, then that will stop again, because they are being tested upon, because we buy those products. And yeah, we should also demand that the medical society also changes, not only cosmetics. We can demand science with conscience, with ethical standards. And we should, demand be advocates for modern human research and use methods that don't compromise ethical principles. And we can raise our voices. We can contact companies, like support legislation, laws, and educate others about the hidden reality of animal testing. So yeah, every cruelty-free choice is a vote for a better world. So we should choose products that are not tested on animals. We are sending a powerful message to other industries that profit from suffering. They make a lot of money out of it, so that's why they continue. It often comes back to money. So when we support the organization that that work on ending animal testing, then we are helping to build a wonderful future for our children's, for all beings, for all animal people. It's not, of course, about perfection. It's about progress. But progress must be made. It's about to acknowledge that we can do better than we do currently, and actually doing it. For all the millions of animals suffering in the laboratories right now, that's for the integrity of the scientific research and humanity in general. So try to look out for cruelty-free products next time that we go to the supermarket, instead of just buying them because they have fancy pictures on them. Actually look for the only picture that is very important is like a rabbit that says cruelty-free and vegan. So we need to take actions today and be very mindful of that. And that was the last slide of this presentation. I hope you got something out of it. Maybe you were not aware of many of those points. All the slides are in the notes of the video, so you can look at all the slides by yourself. Feel free to use this all those slides and all those presentations for your own presentations. There's no copyright on them. They can be used as you wish. So that's just another aspect of the vegan lifestyle. As we already saw in so many of the past presentations, there are many aspects. Not just so you see that not just diet. So vegan lifestyle is not only about diet. It's about many, many, many other things as well that are as important as diet. But diet is a gigantic part in any case, because it's the most visible, the thing that we do 3 times a day or more that we consume, and so it's the most visible and impactful, maybe. But all the other aspects are as important as diet, and also millions of beings suffer because of those aspects, and that is not right, and that is just because of mankind wish to dominate instead of coexist. That's the main things, because this is just like one rule that is really the core of the issue of I would say mankind is, and that basically pervades everywhere. That we use beings as products. We believe living beings are products, robots without feelings, without pain, and we believe that we are the like the master species, the species that can do anything that it wishes because it's the most cunning, the smartest. But smartness doesn't mean that we can do anything. It's not because one is smarter than another being that one can start cooking them. So intelligence doesn't have anything to do with compassion. something completely separate. Possibly it's the opposite. The more intelligence maybe, and maybe not completely, but yeah, there are many very intelligent persons who are not compassionate, not kind, for the moment at least. So intelligence doesn't equal compassion at all, and also not to wisdom. Usually wisdom is associated with compassion, but for even then, it's not necessarily the case that wise people. I mean, if one is truly wise, one would be compassionate. But even there are many gray areas, like traditions and things like that one just cannot, doesn't want to give up, even though one knows it's wrong, but one still does bad things out of because of traditions. So yeah, if we just open our eyes to see that all living beings are worthy of living freely and not hurting any being, being loving, kind to all beings, then nothing of all the aspects of vegan lifestyle, there would be nothing to do basically, because that's the main point. All the animals, all the different animals who are suffering, doesn't matter which animal they are, fish, cows, pigs, mice, rats, all the animals that we consider different, but it all comes down to the fact that we do not see them as true living beings. We do not see them as having pain and having the will to live by themselves without our interactions, without our how to say, interactions. If we let be beings, if we really see all beings as wonderful, sentient, compassionate beings, as we should, nothing of that would ever happen. But we need to see it as a society, as civilization, not just one or two person in a country, but all of us. Because many of us are not even aware of all that. We don't want to be aware, but we must be aware. We should be aware, and we need to act upon it. We cannot accept it. We cannot close our eyes, because even if laws accept it, doesn't mean laws are rights. Laws are just created by humans. But laws can be changed. Laws can be added. So if we are lawyers, then it would be wonderful to work on a universal compassion law. That would be quite an incredible achievement of mankind, of civilization. And I believe, as I said in the past, when that will happen, this world will advance much more rapidly. Like both technologically and ethically. So on the technological part, we are actually quite advanced yet. We are not there yet, but we are very advanced. But the ethical part does not yet come close to it. We are still falling quite behind. And when both will come together, when the ethical aspects will advance as much as the technological aspect, then and only then we will have a true civilization that is that could be called an advanced civilization. Um, and then it would be absolutely wonderful to be a civilization that I would be proud of. That many would be proud of being in civilization which believes in kindness and compassion above all, above technology, above convenience. To be a civilization that helps all beings, irrespective of their species. A civilization that doesn't look at the skin, the color of the skin as something, as a reason to divide, the division aspect, that we don't see continent as a division, that we don't see countries as a division. Yes, of course, countries have their own so-called, good traditions also, and languages and all that. But this is just very artificial, very superficial, and yeah, this is, if one sees that as a reason to be different than another country, then that is very wrong. But this would be just ego invasions, and just very separating. But in advanced civilization, that would never happen, because we would all see that we love the differences. Differences is what makes us, makes the civilization beautiful. It's like having different fruits, different food to eat, not just one food, but many foods. So similarly, we have different languages, different traditions, of course, ethical traditions, and yeah, then we can have fun, like learn from each other, learn new languages, learn new way of thinking, learn new hobbies. So many wonderful things to do. But to really reach that level of civilization, again, we need to advance from our hearts. We need to open our hearts to compassion and kindness. Only then will we have a really wonderful civilization that is that will do wonderful things in the future. I do believe, I am optimist. I believe this world will eventually reach a state of like a very advanced compassion level. I believe it. I hope it will be relatively soon, maybe 50 years. It will happen. It's unavoidable some way. And then this world, I believe, could become heaven, and wonderful heaven for all beings. What a world that would be! It's a world of true happiness. Doesn't mean there will still not be some suffering, of course. That is unavoidable, but overall it will be very peaceful and very compassionate world. That would see all the animals that would protect nature, that would see humans protect nature instead of destroying it. And many people do wish that, I'm sure. But many people maybe are not sure how to do that. If I may give my 1 cent, just going vegan is one of the most powerful thing that we can do for this planet. Um, it's one of the most impactful thing to do, and that's why I'm so passionate about it. That's why I'm doing those presentations, because I do truly believe in it. I know it can make a change, a very profound change in our civilization. It can advance our civilization to the point where they could really become a truly embodiment of compassion. We each one of us becomes angels and saints. There will be no need to wait for anyone. Um, why not embody ourselves all the qualities of saintly persons? It's just up to us. We should not see saints as kind of on a pedestal. We should become one ourselves, and that is very much possible by just becoming kinder and more compassionate. Those are the two main qualities of a saintly person, and no need for miracles. Miracles are fine, but they are temporary. Most important is what happens to our hearts, to our own hearts, how we advance our own compassion and kindness. And yeah, I truly pray and hope that this world will wake up, and yeah, that we will see even in our lifetimes. That would be wonderful. Who knows? Things advance quite fast nowadays, so possibly. I hope that we will see like a future like we see in some movies, like for example in Star Trek, that civilization has evolved into a multi-planet civilization, and that can colonize easily other planets, and yeah, based on like believing that all humanity is one, basically. So then it's going to be very a lot of fun. Like exploring the universe is fun. It's like an adventure. But for that we need to unite and to open our hearts to supreme kindness and compassion. I will repeat it over and over again because that's the most important thing. Um, if we want to stop wars, world wars, we need to start stopping the war in our own self. Um, and for that we need to realize that what we do does matter, and that the violence that we support is similar violence to what happens between humans and humans in wars and violence. So violence toward animals is no separate from violence towards humans. And again, going vegan is one of the most important steps in going to that way. And yeah, really, it's one of the most important thing in this world today. It's not just the word as we saw in all those presentations. It's way more. It's not just a diet. It's I don't know, the philosophy of compassion and kindness, maybe. It's opening our hearts to universal compassion. That's why that's what going vegan is all about. It's about becoming the best version of ourselves in the truest sense. And when that will happen, that is wonderful. Um, don't we want to become the embodiment of kindness and compassion? That is quite an unbelievable state. Um, so yeah, so I mean, I talked quite a lot today. Uh, so yeah, so maybe let's go to our to our practice today. And yeah, our practice when we practice whatever we practice, meditation and self dialogue, all this also contribute to this state of mind, to this opening of hearts, to understanding who we are, that we are kindness and compassion deep down inside of ourselves, to understand the oneness of all living beings. This can be also discovered through practices like meditation and self dialogue. So that's also part of it, and an important part also, because meditation helps us to become more calm, more peaceful, and then through being more calm and peaceful, then we can start to understand things more deeply instead of being torn apart from one place to the other. And our mind has so many, I mean, nowadays there are so many distractions, and we have hard time to focus on one thing at a time. But focusing on one thing at a time is wonderful. Maybe you can try it today to really focus on whatever you do, whatever we do, very, very completely, whatever we do. Like when we eat, we can try to really eat. By that, I mean not having any distractions when we eat. We don't watch TV, we don't read the news, we don't watch social media. Even we don't talk to anyone. We just eat and enjoy the food. We can, and the food will be 10 times more enjoyable that way. We can really taste the food, we can smell the food, we can even touch the food. Yeah, I mean, it's all these senses are involved when we really focus on one thing at a time, then it's a wonderful thing. And that's practice unto itself. Like mindful eating is wonderful. Try it out today. Just even for one meal. Just try it. Maybe lunch or dinner or even breakfast. Just eat without, just enjoy eating. Avoid all the distractions and see what happens. And yeah, so let's go to the practice. Okay, so let's start our practice. So with our usual prayer, just for today, I will not worry. Just for today, I will not be angry. Just for today, I will do my work honestly. Just for today, I will show gratitude for my many blessings. Just for today, I will be kind to all living beings. May today be a joyful, peaceful, blissful, and magical day. Loka samasta sukhino bhavantu. May all the beings in all the world be happy and free, and may our thoughts, words, and deeds contribute in some way to that happiness and freedom for all. Om Shanti 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 Hi. Om peace to all of nature, peace to all living beings, to all humans, to all the animal people, and finally peace to our own self, to our own mind. Um, so let's pass now to the gratitude session. So just being grateful for anything that we have, families, friends, co-workers, teachers, and yeah, our clothes, food, bed, house. Being grateful for anything. So let's do that for a couple of minutes. Okay, slowly open your eyes. So let's start our practice with a little bit of physical movement. We'll do same sequence as we did in the past sessions. So just starting with the Sufi roll. So inhale, chest forward, exhale, back. The other way. Come back to center. Inhale, exhale onto one side. Inhale, extend the spine. Exhale on a bit more. Inhale, come back to center. Exhale the other side. Inhale, extend the spine. Exhale on a bit more. Inhale, center. One hand on the mat. Then inhale and exhale. Other side. Hands on the shoulders. Then inhale. Exhale back. The other way. Come back to center. Inhale. Exhale round. Come back to center. Make some magic with the hands. Open and close rapidly. Do the same with the feet and the legs. Extend the legs. Bring one leg towards you and turn to that side. The other leg. Now bring your legs in diamond shape. A little bit further away from you, and then just very slowly fall on them. Do not push, it's just pure gravity. And slowly come back. So yeah, so let's take a 5-minute break. Okay, so let's do now the relaxation. So as usual, we will do the 61 points, also called Chavyatra. So it's going for the 61 points on, I mean, it's not 61 different points, it's just some of them are repeated, of course. But those points that we go through are like considered important points of physical, energetic value. So that's why we focus upon them. There are different ways of doing it. One is just to focus on those points or spaces. Another is to imagine like a blue star there. Yeah, so let's do that. So we will do it twice, like before. Once together and once on our own. So first we begin with a very short body scan, and then we pass to the actual practice. So close your eyes, and you can also lie down. Take a couple of deep breaths. Now relax your shoulders, relax your back, your front, relax your hips and your legs and your feet. Relax your arms and your hands, your belly. Relax your shoulder blades. Relax your neck and throat. Relax the back of the head, top of the head, forehead. Relax the eyebrows, temples, ears, nose and nostrils. Relax your mouth and your tongue, and your chin and jaw. Relax your entire body, entire face. And let's start. So bring your entire attention to the space between the eyebrows, the pit of the throat, right shoulder, right elbow, right wrist, tip of the right thumb, tip of the index finger, middle finger, ring finger, and little finger. Back to the right wrist, right elbow, right shoulder, pit of the throat, left shoulder, left elbow, left wrist, tip of the left thumb, tip of the index finger, middle finger, ring finger, and little finger. Back to left wrist, left elbow, left shoulder, pit of the throat, the center of the chest, the right chest, center of the chest, the left chest, center of the chest, the navel, lower abdomen, the right hip joint, right knee, right ankle, tip of the right big toe, tip of the second toe, third toe, fourth toe, and fifth toe. Back to the right ankle, right knee, right hip joint, lower abdomen, left hip joint, left knee, left ankle, tip of the left big toe, tip of the second toe, third toe, fourth toe, and fifth toe. Back to the left ankle, left knee, left hip joint, lower abdomen, the navel, the center of the chest, the pit of the throat, and the space between the eyebrows. And relax. Now let's do it once on our own. and slowly open your eyes. So let's move on to the pranayama practice. So like previous sessions, we're going to do several practices. One being just controlled breath, where we breathe in for 1-1, so it's like 4 seconds in, 4 seconds out, and we need to do it with in silence as much as possible, very smoothly, diaphragmatically, so shoulder should be relaxed, chest should be relaxed, just breathe naturally, and without pauses, as much as possible. And breathing in from the nose and out from the nose. That is most important. Yeah, so let's do that for a couple of minutes. So 4 seconds out in, 4 seconds out. Yeah, and if that's too much, you can do 3-3 or 2-2, of course. Let's start now. and slowly open your eyes. So they should be feel very calming. It should not be feel stressed, or and the counting can only be doesn't need to be done all the time. Once one knows more or less how long it takes, one can just breathe in and out without counting. So let's do now the same thing but with 1-2 ratio. So breathe in for 4 seconds and out from 8 seconds. This may not be for everyone. If it's too much, do a 3-6 or a 2-4. Same thing, same qualities that we need in this breath and this practice. Silent, smooth, no pauses, nose, diaphragmatic breathing. So let's do that. And slowly relax. So now we move, we move to sorry, we move to Adishodhanam, Anuloma Viloma, alternate nostril breathing. Where we breathe alternatively from left and right nostril, and we block the other one. So for that we use the Vishnu Mudra, index middle finger bend with the thumb and the ring. Yeah, so we're going to do the third type, which is like if we block the right, Then exhale from left, inhale left, exhale, inhale, switch. Exhale, inhale, exhale, inhale. That's the sequence. It's very easy. That's one round. And then the second round can start from the other nostril, and the third one again from the first one. So yeah, so let's do it together. One round, and then you will do it on your own for 3 rounds. So take a big inhale, exhale, inhale to start. Block right, exhale from left. Inhale from left, exhale, inhale, exhale, inhale, switch, exhale, inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale, inhale, and relax. So now we are all going to do it at our own pace, 3 rounds, each round starting from the other nostrils. And between rounds, we can take like 5-10 seconds of break. Yeah, so let's do that. and relax. So that was Nadishodanam. Let's now pass to Brahmari. So the bee humming practice. Just that is close the nose and make a hum sound like. We can make different types of notes. We make it long or short as we wish, as we can, and it should feel very relaxing, no stress. So really, we should be relaxed, and then do it. You don't need to follow me. It's like each one in his or her own rhythm, and yeah, let's do that. And slowly let go. Now we move to the self-dialogue part of the practice. So again, it is to talk with ourselves in a positive, kind, compassionate way. And there are many ways of doing that. So we're going to discuss a little bit on those ways. One is prayer, either self-made or pre-made. One is gratitude, being grateful for everything. One is affirmations, making affirmations, positive affirmations. And then we have the metta meditation of Buddhism, loving kindness meditation, where we wish well to all living beings, to all those that are close to us, to all those that are neutral, and finally all those that are that we have a hard time with. Then we have contemplation on higher truths like who am I? Just pondering on that question, on that fundamental question, trying to find out who could we be deep down, and yeah, that we are a wonderful aware being, conscious being, like all living beings. We are with a lot of kindness in us, and that is our expression of the soul. of our awareness, which is kindness and compassion personified deep down. Just need to let it um, like represent itself, let it manifest itself. And then we have self-counseling, like what is it that we really want deep down? What is our purpose in life? What are our goals, our means to reach the goals, or the habits that we wish to acquire and remove from our life? Because habits, they make out our personality, basically. Whatever we do consistently and daily, especially, this becomes our personality, how we behave. Yeah, so like I heard from a wonderful woman, Lisa Raimondi. I don't remember exactly, but it's like we cannot determine our future. We can only determine our habits, and our habits determine our future. Something like that. It's so we cannot determine ourselves, our future. That's what it means. We cannot. If we really want to change our future, we need to change our habits. Because our habits is what determine our future, basically. Which is quite evident when we think about it. Yeah, like if we don't want to have lungs issue and we have the habit of smoking, then yeah, if we change that habit, it will change our future. In the future we will not have lungs or minimize our lungs issues and prevent possibly any further complications from that habit, and so on and so forth. So many habits. And finally, there's friendship with mind. So to be a friend with our mind, um, always talking positively and just discussing whatever we wish to discuss. So let's do that for 12 minutes. So we're going to do self-dialogue for 12 minutes. You decide the topic, and you just talk with your mind, like we are already used to talk with our mind. So this is no different, except that this time it is very positive and very directed, very intentional, one could say. So let's do that. going to open your eyes. And before the meditation session, let's take 5 minutes break. So let's start our meditation session or part. So for meditation, as we already discussed in the past, it's in contrast to the self-dialogue, is where we try to not follow our thoughts. We try to really focus usually on one object of concentration, whatever that object is. In many traditions, one focuses on the breath. That's not the only object, but we are going to use that as well for now. So just try to focus on the sensations of the breath coming out in and out of the nostrils. At the entrance of the nostrils, you try to find like you can like a couple of times like breathe in deeply and rapidly, like so that you feel where the breath is felt. That even when you breathe in more slowly, then you can feel it. But you can also focus on other things like the temperature of the air coming in and out of the nostrils. Hot, like when we breathe in, it's usually colder than when we breathe out. Can be also the sensation of the breath on the lips, on the upper lips. It can even be the belly, like coming out and in, like the physical sensations rather, like the physical happening of the breath rather than sensation. Whatever speaks to you, it is fine. Just we need to really focus on that, whatever we choose to concentrate fully. When thoughts come, we do not follow them. We try not to follow them. It's hard, but every time we sleep, then we basically come back mindfully. Yeah, it's like a steering wheel. If we suddenly go a little bit right to the left, then we bring it to the center. And yeah, basically that's it. And a good idea to start with any time is to start counting from like 1 to 5 and back to 1 each time we inhale, exhale. When we inhale, we think in. When we exhale, we think out. And also a trick is to, when thoughts start to overwhelm us, we can either categorize them like emotion, maybe different emotions, etc., or past, present, future, or we can just use just one word like thinking, and that will take us away from that chain of thoughts and bring us back to our object of meditation. So it's like we think the word thinking. So it's like a thoughts come, then we acknowledge it by thinking. So it's a way of acknowledging the thoughts. Like I see you, I saw that you are there, but now I'm going back to my meditation. And it can happen hundreds of times, like in one session. So just that we every time we go back to the object and try to make it more and more focused. That's basically the practice. So let's do that for 3 minutes. So prepare now for 4 minutes. You can stretch your legs, get up a little bit. Okay, let's start. Remember, you should just watch your breath. Do not control it in any way. It's a pure awareness of the breath in the natural state. No control this time. Relax and prepare for 6 minutes. Okay, let's start. Try not to move as much as possible. Find a comfortable position, be stable, relaxed, and unmovable. Of course, except for the breath. So prepare now for 9 minutes meditation. So this may be a bit harder. If you've had enough, then you can stop here. If you want some more challenge, then continue. So between sessions, it's a good idea to just stretch a little bit, take a short walk, and then come back. So we're going to do now 9 minutes. So let's start. And finally, get ready for the final meditation of the morning, so the 12-minute meditation. So relax a little bit. And let's start 12 minutes. Start with stabilizing your body. So do a Kayashteriam practice where you do a body scan from feet to head. Try to be relaxed. Imagine you are a tree. And then start the practice. So this concludes our session for today. So to recap, today was we talked about animal testing, so-called animal testing that we do to them. We test many things on them for many reasons. Could it be for cosmetics or medical or any other reasons that we can think of that people do testings, all the products that they want to test if anything is like they believe it's because to prove that it is safe to humans, then they test on animals and also food. And yeah, but animals are not robots. They are not products. They feel pain, and they are very innocent, like children's. And we should protect them as such. We should not let this happen. That's not right. But as a society, we accept that somehow. But we should always be mindful of it. So when we go and buy products, we should buy those that are cruelty and vegan. I mean, cruelty free and vegan. Also, we should ask our politicians to do something about it. If they really care about living beings, they should care not only humans but all living beings. And yeah, so, and also for medical reasons, it's terrible. We should not do it, no matter for what reason that we believe we should do it. It's not a necessity. There are many alternatives that are much more compassionate and kind. We do not need to test on animals. It's just a habit that we've acquired for a long time. And yeah, it's because we believe in domination instead of coexistence, and that should change. So thank you so much for being here, for your compassionate hearts. Let's end it with the mantra. Loka samasta sukhino bhavantu. May all the beings in all the worlds be happy and free. And may our thoughts, words, and deeds contribute in some way to that happiness and freedom for all. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Om peace to all of nature, peace to all living beings, to all the animal people, to all humans, and finally peace to our own self, to our own mind. So thank you. Have a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful day. Wish you all the best. Hope to see you soon. And yeah, bye bye.